Welcome to the I Ching Cafe, and my name is Belinda Doveson. Great to have you with us for this special episode because we are celebrating our 1-year birthday of I Ching Cafe as a channel and as a podcast. Yay! Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. It's been an amazing year, and I look forward to our next year and what is to evolve and to come in our learning about the I Ching, in our flows of change, and what we can do to develop clarity, agility, and mastery. So I've been toying with this question around what is this new normal? Where are we going? Because we all know, and hopefully you know, that life will never return back to the life we knew. It's a totally different world we're in. It's like we've just suddenly jumped into a new dimension. So I wanted to ask the I Ching and to share with you the question of, please advise us on how we can align with the highest in this imminent new normal journey we are in. And so this episode, as a birthday special, is to share with you the answer the I Ching gave me to that question. Are you ready? Okay. So our main hexagram, the main focus of change related to the question of how do we align with the highest of the new normal, very interesting, is hexagram 47, exhaustion. And I've spoken about this one before. We have the water dropping below the level of the lake, which means the lake is exhausted. This hexagram is the one of being oppressed, of being cut off, of isolated, yes, of being forgotten and misunderstood and alone in the desert, dry, no water in sight. So this current energy related to this imminent new normal is talking about literally this process or experience we're all experiencing of being oppressed by a virus, by a government, by our panic and fears, whatever you want to put into that line, fill the blank space. We are oppressed and we are cut off and exhausted. Financially, many people, and unfortunately this might be for you as well, have experienced some dramatic personal, financial, and business financial dramas and troubles through this process. Exhausted, cut off at the end of your resources. Maybe you've used your savings, maybe you've lost your job, or been retrenched, or had your pay cut. We are all experiencing oppression and exhaustion of our energy, of our focus, and of our financial reality. And of course, not to mention the many people who are suffering with the coronavirus, and of course dealing with loved ones and all the real stress that goes around this whole process. So what does this mean? Our changing line we have for this question is one changing line in the first position. And this changing line says, you're sitting lonely under a bare tree, exhausted, cut off, and full of melancholy. And for 3 years, you will not come out of this. Oh, this sounds so dramatic. So what does this changing line actually mean? What it says to us is that the advice of the I Ching, how do we align ourselves with the highest of this new normal, is to not isolate and cut ourselves off from others, to hide under the tree of loneliness and despair, and to basically drive ourselves crazy because we are so deep in despair and in patterns of self-emotional regurgitating concerns and worries and fears that we will remain isolated under this tree for 3 years. And it's very specific about 3 years. So what I take from this line, what the I Ching is asking us to do is to realize that right now, despite the environment of exhaustion and oppression, we are our own worst enemies. If we choose the path of being miserable under the tree and being alone and worrying and stressing and fearful and angry and all these emotions, and we've seen it everywhere, if we tolerate that internally, we will be under that tree for 3 years. And I feel like what that does is that creates the opportunity for us to be in choice. We always are in choice. It doesn't require an opportunity to do that. But the choice is, if we choose the path of sadness and being miserable under the tree for what we've lost, whatever it is, and I'm not taking away the gravity of what you have lost or may have lost in your life. if we stay lonely under that tree, it'll take us 3 years before we start to recover. Think about that. If we choose another path, if we choose the path of reaching out and connecting and bonding with others and being in a positive space and being active connectors and leaders in our industry, in our world, in our personal lives, that is totally different. Because the outcome hexagram is hexagram 58, called joy. This is one of the most amazing hexagrams in the whole 64. It is the communication and expression of delight. It's education, it's talking, it's engaging, it's connecting and communicating, it's learning, it's all about networking and sharing with others and just taking joy and pleasure in mutual exchange. So, this outline could not be clearer. The choice point we face is to be sad and lonely under the tree, or to be positive creators of joy. That is the choice in the new normal we need to make. And we need to seek joy in our lives, to seek to create joy and exchange and learning and sharing for others. This is the task. So what an interesting birthday insight for our 1-year birthday. The new normal. How do we align ourselves with the highest of the new normal? That is the question. We let go of the sadness. We don't isolate ourselves through our sadness, our pain, our anger and emotion and bitterness and resentment. It just serves to make us more isolated and delay our ability to recover from this. What we have to do is choose joy. What is joyful to you? What brings joy to you? What brings joy to others? What brings joy to your team? How can I share? Open up my chest, open up my heart, open up my mouth, share, engage, learn, and I think an acceleration of positive co-creation of our future of this new normal is how we align with the highest. Our network and our contribution to our network is what we're being called to do. So be an example of the highest you can be. Share joy, bring joy, create learning. What comes out your mouth is learning and sharing and upliftment. Bring everyone with you. Bring the joy and share that, despite where you might be now under the tree. I trust that's useful, and keep coming back to it when you're feeling like you're under the tree and you're angry at the world for how things are right now. Whoever you're angry with, don't hang out under the bare tree because it'll take you too long to recover. Rather, create joy and be the joy you are. Thank you so much. Bringing you joy and affirming that for you too. See you soon.